You're very welcome back to Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's Local Enterprise Offices. We are meeting entrepreneurs with big ambition, and this week we are delighted to be joined by Loretta Kennedy of MamaBear Foods. Loretta Kennedy is a mother of three, and MamaBear Foods produces a range of healthy and tasty family food condiments, all of which started back in her kitchen in 2017, purely because she couldn't find a healthy tomato ketchup that her children actually liked. Loretta, it's lovely to meet you again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
We're going to talk about the fact we've met before in just a minute, but everybody who comes in has 30 seconds to explain the ethos and the rationale behind their business, and your 30 seconds starts now.
Okay, so MamaBear Foods started in my kitchen in 2017 when I couldn't find a healthy ketchup that my kids actually liked. And I set about creating one myself when I couldn't find it on the shelf. So it has since grown. What started in my kitchen then kind of rapidly moved into retail. I started with one product and I now have a range of 4 products. And they all have sustainability, nutritious ingredients and healthy eating at their core.
Okay, very good. Everyone's getting it under 30 seconds now. I mean, I'm going to have to reduce it to 20 seconds to make it a challenge to you. I'm going to have to be mean. But we've actually met before, and you were one of the first guests on the Red Business podcast when we met out in the RedFM studio.
Yeah.
And I think you were just about hitting the big time at that point. You just managed to get
listed. Just had launched, I think. Yeah, I think was that like 2018?
Yeah,
maybe?
about
2018,
that,
yeah.
And I remember what I loved about your story was you were another kitchen table success. So you were literally... Well, you were spoon feeding your children every single spoon to find which one they liked.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It was all done in your house.
That's right. Like the market research was done in my house. The recipe development was done in my house. I mean, when I think back, I was starting out and I really was trying to create something that they would eat and that would really be comparable to what was available in the shops, but just have a better nutritional profile.
Now, if every Irish parent did this, we'd have an awful lot of sauces out there. What was the issue that you had? Was it sugar, if I remember correctly?
It was sugar, yeah, it was sugar. So I suppose a mother of 3, and I love my food and I would be pretty health conscious myself. And we had a dental visit with one of the kids and she had a pretty bad cavity. And when I went through what actually was in her diet, I mean, it wasn't the sweets, it wasn't the yogurts, it was ketchup. And she was having it daily and it wasn't a teaspoon, it was, 2 or 3 good big tablespoons. So, I mean, I had just sort of given into it. By the time the 3rd child arrived, I was like, whatever you want, have it. Healthy eating was just, and I was working a lot. And, it was one of those kind of cycles that we just gotten into. We really,
Yeah, I could understand it perfectly, by the way.
Yeah.
The 3 kids of my own, I know exactly what it is. But, this was a big pivot from what you were doing to that point, wasn't it? I mean, like the idea of becoming a condiment producer was not on your radar, was it?
It wasn't, but I actually didn't overthink it. I went out, there wasn't a solution there. I'm not a chef, but I'm very good at creating solutions if something doesn't exist. So I just thought, well, I'll make it myself in my kitchen. I'm very lucky in that my sister has a food business and my brother also has a food business, and I'm from the west of Ireland, so I suppose we're pretty self-sufficient. And it started there. I got a lot of support really from my brother and sister initially, and it was my sister actually, who has 6 children, who said, why wouldn't you take it to a farmer's market? Bring it to a farmer's market, get it in front of people and get some feedback on it. So that was the next step then.
Yeah. And the business kind of grew from there. When did you realise, do you know what, I could sell more than a few jars of this?
I think it was when I sold 120 in about an hour at Mahon Farmers Market, and it had taken me 6 hours to make them. And I just thought, oh, wow, okay, there's something here. There's really something here. So it was around about then that I started looking at tweaking the recipe and started approaching really my local enterprise office after that. Yeah.
And where did the support come in there? Because like everything else, you knew you had something that people wanted. That's the biggest thing from a consumer product, that people want to buy it.
Yeah.
You knew you had to get it to market. So where did the Leo come in to help steer you in the right direction?
So the initial step really was meeting with somebody and to actually tell them that I had this idea. And, I don't have a business background, so I felt very much like, I could be laughed at here. I'm going up against something that's very well established. I mean, when I did my research, it was something like 99% of the population actually buy ketchup or have ketchup in their houses. So I knew there was a market for it. So I initially met with a a Leo representative really, and kind of floated my idea to them and brought in loads of samples, and they were in little like Kilner jars, and there was no real label on them, and there was no shelf life testing, there was nothing done. And they said, okay, yeah, let's get you moving into the next step and get you into a process, which was amazing.
Which you did, and you got into that process. So you're away from the kitchen table now, at least, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. I was in an incubator kitchen at that point then.
Okay, thank God. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So where's manufacturing done now?
So I'm working with a family at the moment who actually do my manufacturing for me, and I suppose that was quite difficult in that. So I launched through Food Academy initially, and I was still doing everything through the incubator kitchen, and then I got a large contract with Aldi Ireland. And immediately that meant that I was going from doing a couple of hundred bottles to a couple of thousand, you know, and tens of thousands of bottles. So that's a lot of bottles. It is a lot of bottles. It's a lot of bottles. So I set about really going around the country, seeing if I could find a manufacturing partner who would actually take a chance on me and give me some time to try and get the product right. So it was around about then that I got in touch with the food technologist in Teagasc as well, because there's actually a whole science piece to scaling food products.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great because you've got the 4 different products. Tell us what the different products are, first of all.
Okay, so I have my original, which is my MamaBear reduced sugar ketchup, and then I brought out a barbecue and a roasted garlic ketchup in 2021. And then I suppose it was at the height of the pandemic when everyone was eating pasta, including my own kids and even people who would never normally eat pasta, like my father, who was eating pasta. I mean, you couldn't get pasta at the time. And I thought, I'm actually going to develop a pasta sauce, but a really nutritious pasta sauce that has no added sugar, no added salt. It's just pure veg, blitzed, and done in a beautiful olive oil. So that's all that's in that pasta sauce.
Like it's incredible because I think you just had ketchup.
I just had the one product.
That's right.
When
So
I first met you.
you're up to 4.
Yeah.
Where's next?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'd love to get into the lunchbox section for kids, to be honest. I see a huge niche there for, again, healthy products that the children will actually eat. I love all the sauces. I mean, my roasted garlic is a really big seller. The pasta sauce, I think, is going to turn into my hero product, though. That's the one that people really, really want.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can't wait to have it back in 3 years to find out where you're going to be then, because you're, as you mentioned, Aldi, Supervalu, Avoca, I think, take some of your stuff as well.
And I've just started working with Irish Independent Health Foods, a Cork distribution company. So I'm in Nourish now all around Ireland, and I'll be going into all of the different health food stores in Ireland as well.
You're popping up everywhere.
I'll be everywhere.
It's a whole lot of MamaBear.
It's an awful lot of MamaBear.
The website is mamabearfoods.ie if
That's
people want to find out a little bit
Sinead.
more. Loretta Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And that is it for this week. Join us next week when we'll be joined by Eddie O'Reilly of Jensen Products Limited. Eddie is going to share his story of how he spotted a gap in the Irish market after his time working in Australia. He's going to share the story of his product, Shoe Rescue, to get rid of the old pongy toes. It's a brilliant one, but it's already being exported to lots of countries outside of Ireland. That story on the way next week, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices and Red Business in Focus.